Okay, this is a quick video to change our predictions from Isaiah29 to Isaiah30. We're bumping them forward one day. The second and third fast sign we now predict for Isaiah30, which is Saturday, Sunday. It's from now to sunset Sunday, the 24th. And the reason we're doing that is we're not changing anything in our understanding other than the date that the Watchtower became a false church. We had thought that was 2005 Sivan10. The reason we thought that is it's 1290 days of the time of the end of that church of Daniel 12 after 2001 Heshvan10, which was when they sent their terrible letter showing that they were unrepentant for having ridden the wild beast as a harlot church because they became associated with the Department of Public Information of the UN on 1992 January 28 and rode it for 10 years as the beast, the UN beast, as prophesied in Revelation 17. And also doing that is putting the throne of Satan in the temple of Jehovah, which is obviously a very bad idea. But God didn't condemn them for that. He waited till they sent this letter as a response to the Guardian's expose, which said, oh, you know, we just did it to get a library card. There's nothing wrong with what we've done. It was perfectly okay. In order to get a book out of the library, we had to join the UN, which was a lie. I went to Millbank Tower when the British part of the UN was there, and you can borrow any book you want from the Dag Hammarskjöld Library without joining the UN. They told me, and I saw there the book which had been signed by Ciro Aurelio or somebody from the Watchtower when they joined up with the UN. Now the thing is, they wrote that letter showing no repentance for a terrible sin, idolatry, putting the throne of Satan in temple of Jehovah and riding wild beasts as harlot. They wrote that letter dated November the 1st and sent by CompuServe. The copies are on the internet anyway. And the trouble is that November the 1st is the end of Heshvan10. And had they sent it, say, in the afternoon from the US, which is it was sent from the Brooklyn Bethel, if it was sent from there in the afternoon, it would have arrived in the UK after sunset in the evening, 5 hours ahead we are. So it would have arrived here on Heshvan11. And had they sent someone by post, they wouldn't have arrived till Heshvan11 either. So it's perfectly possible that they were deemed to be unrepentant, not from November the 1st US time, but from November the 1st evening British time, or from Heshvan11 basically. So that understanding can be moved one day. But that's not the really big reason I was always concerned about this Sivan10 date. The really big reason is that the bilateral contest started when I sent the letter, the revised Sign of Jonah letter on 2006 Sivan1. I sent it, well into 2006 Sivan1, both British and US time. And you go first because you're the majority, Elijah says to the prophets of Baal. And there were 450 prophets of Baal and 100 of Jehovah. So the majority is 350. If you exclude Elijah, who was also a prophet of Jehovah, so if he was talking about prophets other than himself, then the majority is 350. But if you come back 350 days from Sivan 1, 2006, you end up on Sivan 11, 2005, not Sivan 10. So for that reason, I did think it might be Sivan 11, but I didn't see a need to change it because Sivan 10 looked better counting from Heshvan 10. But the Heshvan 10 may have been Heshvan 11, as I explained. And of course, if you include Elijah there, then the majority is only 349, and that would mean that they would have fallen on Sivan 12. So, I suppose if I was being really careful, I would say we now predict that this fire sign will happen Isaiah30 or Tebeth 1. What we are predicting is the 92nd Watchtower Solar Baalian Pentecost, which is a rather theocratic way of saying 4,600 days after the Watchtower fell as a true church. And 4,600 days after Sivan 11, solar days, that takes you to Isaiah30. But 4,600 after Sivan 12 would take you to Tebeth 1. I don't think you can't really push the Heshvan 10 date further than Heshvan 11 as regards everything arriving and they're being shown to be unrepentant. So we really ought to go with Isaiah30 for this date, but I'm not going to make another video if it's Tebeth 1. So let's say that it's going to happen on Isaiah30 or Tebeth 1. So we expect it on the 24th or from any time from now to Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It's a most inopportune timing, these predictions. So that's basically it. We're moving the fall of the Watchtower forward by 1 or 2 days. The justification for that is, first of all, that this letter may not have arrived till Heshvan 11 and was sent at the end of Heshvan 10, and therefore 1290 days after that BLC is Sivan 11 rather than Sivan 10. That's the first justification. The second justification is that the majority of the prophets of Baal was 350 over the prophets of Jehovah, and that counts back from Sivan 1 2006 when I definitely sent that letter, and that takes you actually to 2005 Sivan 11. And if you include Elijah, 2005 Sivan 12. So then you count your 4600 Gregorian solar days after that, and you get, well, actually not necessarily Gregorian, but solar days, true solar, and you get to Chislev 30 or Tebeth 1. Now, the thing about Tebeth 1 is it's the 7th day of Hanukkah, and that is when the attendant says, oh look, there's a cloud on the 7th. But however, there could be a fire sign at the end of Chislev 30, which the attendant doesn't start talking about until Tebeth 1. But the 7th day of Hanukkah, I think, is the mysterious 7th of 1 Kings 18:44, and it came about on the 7th that the attendant got to say, look, there's a small cloud like a man's palm rising from the sea. And of course, it's late new Rosh Hashanah. It's the Jericho shout, Tebeth 1. So, however you look at this, there will be a shout about fire signs on Tebeth 1, which is basically Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Tebeth 1 runs from sunset December 24 to sunset December 25. So this is going to basically screw up Christmas from a physical standpoint. And the Rosh Hashanah shout, the late new Rosh Hashanah shout, the Jericho shout and the trumpets and everything, and the alarm, the terror attack, will be the blaze of media publicity for it all will, if we have this right, and I hate doing these, either we're prophesying a disaster on New Year's Day or Thanksgiving, or now we're doing it on Christmas Day. It's wonderful, isn't it? But that's our best understanding of the scriptures. I do apologise, it's terrible timing, but I'm only the messenger and not a very accurate one. But that's our best attempt at this. So we think it's any time up to sunset Christmas Day, these fire signs now, which is Tebeth 1, which is the 7th day of Hanukkah. Okay, thanks very much.